9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. It is March 31st, 11:30 a.m. in the Boston area. Hey, Just Duck, welcome to the show. And, I'm kind of in the mood to laugh today. So in order to laugh, I figured I would play this little clip. I mean, this is a very funny laugh, a laugh that I enjoy, a laugh that we're all hearing on a regular basis. So everyone just sit back and enjoy this little montage of laughing. So here it comes.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Let's talk about packing.
You once again gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No.
Be important if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week.
You landed haymakers on Joe Biden. How do you go from being such a passionate opponent?
It was a debate.
Ron Gold has said that he is for the legalization of marijuana recreationally. Your thoughts on that?
That he is entitled to his opinion.
So if it was legalized all throughout the country and medicinal, would you do it?
Listen,
again?
I think that it gives a lot of people joy, and we need more joy.
All right. There it is. I love that laugh. I'm sure we all do also. Hey, Just Duck, I see you down in the chat there. It is so good to see you. Welcome to the show. I know my show's been a little bit spotty lately. Right now, I'm in the middle of my busy season for work. So we're creating all these quotes and presentations and all that stuff because I work with the schools, and the schools generally place their orders over the summer. So they're getting everything in order right now. So I'm super busy. So I'm trying to do shows when I can. It's just been tough to get in, but it's really good to see you. So I'm glad you're back in the show. All right, guys, I'm going to talk about some personal stuff today before I get into the meat of what I wanted to talk about today. And you may see in the About section of my show that I'm going to talk a little bit today about homelessness and mental illness. And the reason why I'm going to talk about that is my son, Ethan, goes to the gym in Worcester, Massachusetts. And it's the second biggest city in Massachusetts. And it's kind of a rough city in some places. The area that he goes to the gym in is kind of a tough area. So I haven't been walking in that area. Like I've got an hour and a half to kill. So I leave that area because it's too dangerous to walk in. And I go over to a place in Worcester that's near like a Target, a Lowe's. It's called Lincoln Plaza. And I've been getting my steps in there just walking while my son's in the gym. And man, I have just seen close up the number of people with mental illness and the people of the homeless living in that area. So I'm going to get to that and talk about it in a little bit. It's just been really bothering me. So, hey, Cummings, welcome to the show. Shama Somas, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. But before I get to talking about, some of the issues I want to talk about, I've got to actually talk about my daughter, Caitlin, who now has her driving permit. Okay. Now, if there are any parents in here that have trained a 16-year-old how to drive, please give me some tips, because I've got to admit, it is absolutely terrifying to be in the passenger seat with my daughter when she has like literally no experience behind the wheel. And oh my God, it is scary. So anyway, she got her permit Monday, And for the first couple of days of her driving, I took her into the school parking lot, which is near our house. So there's like a big circle that you can drive around there. We did that, and she did pretty well. But then I tried to have her park in one of the parking spaces of the parking lot by the school. So she was doing well. She had it all lined up. There were 2 lines, and she was driving right in between the 2 lines. And then I don't know what happened, but she panicked. So instead of stepping on the brake, my daughter stepped on the gas and ended up jumping the curb, going onto the front lawn of the school. And I think I mentioned this the other day, and literally going like a good 20 feet onto the lawn. And on the other side of this lawn is a pretty busy main road, which is pretty scary. So she literally scared the crap out of me. And I'm in the passenger seat. I try to be very calm. Okay, take your left turn here. Don't panic. Have your foot on the brake. When she jumped this particular curb, I'm literally like, brake. Oh my God, put the brake on. So I kind of lost it and I panicked. And it was pretty scary. Hey, Robert, welcome to the show. Mr. T, wink, wink, welcome to the show. Good to see you. But it was terrifying. So we've progressed over this week where my daughter now has, been driving in some of the neighborhoods near my house, and she is doing better. So yesterday we took a drive, and we went through, there's this place in my town called Rutland State Park. It's this big, huge area where you can drive in. No one's really in there. They've got like a nice lake, and there's an area where you can kind of hang out and go to the beach during the summer. And there's like dirt roads all throughout all throughout this area, like literally hundreds of acres of dirt roads out in the woods, which are kind of cool. So my daughter drove down this road. Okay, welcome to everybody coming in. Thank you so much for joining me. If you could, please all share my show. I really appreciate you all popping in. But anyway, so she drove in this area. She was on the road doing a really good job. So she went all the way down this road, came all the way back out, and we got near the main street again. So I said, do you want to try maybe taking a left turn here and going up to that stop sign? And if you're not comfortable there, we don't have to pull out on the main road. So she takes a left, does a good job, stops at the stop sign. And we were at the point now where like, all right, let's try our first trip on the road. So we're at the stop sign. She looks to the left. There's nothing really coming. Now, this is generally a pretty busy street. It's Route 122A in my town. And, it's the speed limit's like 45 or 50. And, you get quite a bit of traffic. But at this point in the day, there wasn't much happening. So I said, listen, why don't you just take a right turn here, go to the end of that road, take another right turn. And if you're nervous, go up about, half a mile and turn into this area where you can go fishing. There's a parking lot, and we can, I can take over from there. So she's like, I think I can do it. I'm like, all right, awesome. So she takes her right turn, and literally as soon as she takes the right turn, over the hill from behind us comes an 18-wheeler. So this 18-wheeler literally pulls up right behind her. It's like literally like 5 feet behind her. She's panicking. I'm just like, oh, for God's sakes. So we get to the stop sign. She takes her right. Of course, the 18-wheeler follows her. Now she has to take a left turn through traffic into this parking lot with an 18-wheeler up her backside. So she pulls over, close to the middle lane, puts on her blinker. Of course, the 18-wheeler has to pass her on the right, and there wasn't a lot of space. So that scared the hell out of her. So she's taking her left turn, and she almost turned into oncoming traffic without stopping. Literally at that point, I'm like, okay, stop. And she luckily stopped, and she waited for the car to go by, and then we went into the parking lot. But she redeemed herself. She drove actually all the way home on that busy street. But for anybody out there that's got children, if you've trained your children for driving, even if you haven't, it is terrifying. It is scary to be in that passenger seat when they really have no idea how to drive. And man, I'm putting myself in the face of danger every day. So she does get lessons through her driver's ed company, but damn it, man, I am like terrified. So, today I've got the day off. She went to work with my wife, so I don't have to ride with her today. And I love riding with her, and I love helping her, but it is scary, man. Hey, Mr. K, what's up? Good to see you all. Victor, thanks for coming in. Me, Laborland, thanks for coming in. And Jess, I saw your comment. Yes, my daughter's spoiled. We got her a Jeep Wrangler. She's been through a lot. We never thought we would do anything like that. But she's been through a lot the last couple of years, and she's a great, great, great kid. She's not one of those people that ever asks for like name brand anything, doesn't really care about material things, isn't into, I need to have the new Coach bag or whatever. So we figured we'd do something nice for her. We got her the Wrangler, and she absolutely loved it. She was so happy. But thank you. Yeah, it's a little bit more money than what we wanted to spend, but it is a nice vehicle, and hopefully she'll be safe in it as she drives. So anyway, that's one of the things that's been going on in my personal life. So, man, training a teenage kid how to drive, this is the first. Oh, it's terrifying. It is terrifying. So, hey, good news on one part of my life today. We actually bought, and I know that you all know I'm a baseball fan, we bought Boston Red Sox tickets for next Tuesday, 7 o'clock at night. I am jacked. You know how much I love baseball. And this is crazy now. For people that don't know what it costs to go to a Red Sox game and what the seats are like, to put it in perspective for people in other areas of the country, because I know it's not like this everywhere, Red Sox games are sold out literally every night. There are no seats available. You literally have to go to like either a Ticketmaster or a scalper on the street to buy tickets. Even if you don't do that and you're able to buy Red Sox tickets in Fenway Park, then you're looking at probably for really good seats down low, like anywhere near the field, you're looking basically like $200 a piece. So for me to bring literally my entire family, 6 people in my family, that's $1,200 for tickets. And then parking is like $60. And then, if you get any food, that's like another $100, $200 in the park. So it could literally be like a $2,000 night, which nobody, including my family, can afford. Now, I logged on to the Red Sox website. Hey, Freedom Warrior, welcome to the show. So I logged on to the Red Sox website through MLB. And because of COVID, they have these little 4-seat pods and 2-seat pods, which I initially thought was stupid, right? But then I looked at the prices. I got like section 127 loads, which is fairly down low, behind home plate, 4 seats, $57 a piece. That in Fenway Park is highway robbery. So we paid for 4 tickets. Not my whole family isn't going, but we ended up getting 4 tickets for like $200. Hey, Lou Rock, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to see all you guys coming in. I haven't been on this week, and I've missed you all, so I'm happy to be here. So, I know it sounds like a lot, but for a Red Sox game, for 4 seats down there, you can't even generally get bleacher seats for that price. So we got like amazing seats, really cheap. So I guess that's one of the benefits of COVID, where I'm getting like cheap Red Sox game tickets the next week. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about this. I don't want it to be like a really heavy show. We do have to wear masks, unfortunately. So it is what it is. I mean, Massachusetts is a very liberal state. So I'm sure we're going to have the mask mandates for quite some time. But of course, you don't have to wear the masks if you're eating. So we'll just have snacks throughout the entire game and kind of pull it down, to eat. But for me, wearing a mask, if it means going into a department store, screw wearing a mask. I'll stay out of the department store. But if it means I have to wear one to go to a baseball game, then I always make the adjustment there. Hey, Swinging in the Rockies, welcome to the show. Good to see everybody, man. You guys are awesome. Thanks for everybody coming in. If you're in and you're here for the first time, please follow me. Please share my live if you could. And hopefully you guys hang out. We're going to have a fun show today. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a little bit of a serious topic that I've kind of realized the last couple of days. And, I don't think I ever see it close up. Now, when I go with my son to the gym, I talked about it a little bit earlier. He plays baseball. He goes to this gym that specializes in training for baseball players. So not, football players where they're looking to bulk you up. They're looking to keep you, kind of, limber, flexible, but still building strength for baseball. So there's a place in my area that has guys that played college baseball, and they run this gym called the Strength House Inn in Worcester, Mass. Great gym. They do an amazing job, but it's in kind of a rough area of town. So we end up, I go to the gym. He's in there for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it's too far away from home for me to drive home in between. So I go like 5 or 10 minutes away, and there's like this place called Lincoln Plaza in Worcester. There's like I said, a Worcester, a Target, a Home Depot, Dick's Sports, one of those big outdoor mall type of places. So the weather's been nice for like the last week. Hey, Mr. A, welcome to the show. So I've been going there, and I'm trying to get in shape somewhat. So I'm trying to get my 10,000 steps a day. I've got my little watch on that measures my steps. So I've been walking around this area every day. Okay. So I generally start at the Target. I actually walk behind the stores and walk behind the Dick's Sports. And then there's like a Michael's Arts and Crafts and a Stop and Shop supermarket. So I walk around this whole area, and it's kind of a rough area. So this is an area when you're driving, there's a lot of people on the street corners begging for money. and doing things like that. And, most times I end up driving by without really thinking much about it. But what hit me really the other day is a few things. As I was walking, there's this one vacant diner that's been there forever. It's literally been empty for like 5 years. So it's a really cute place, but for whatever reason, it went out of business. They've never filled the location. So I was walking behind the diner, which is actually right along the main road, but it's kind of sunken down a little bit. And there were these little alcoves in the back of the diner. So when I walked by the alcoves, I looked in and I saw like, newspapers, cardboard boxes. I saw blankets. I saw pillows. I saw clothes, and there was nobody in there. And it just really hit me when I walked by these places and I saw how many homeless people are living in the town next to me. I mean, dozens upon dozens upon dozens. They're literally everywhere. And a lot of them, as I go on this walk, hey, Annette, welcome to the show. As I go on this walk, I see, a lot of people that are homeless because they have mental illness, And honestly, it's really, really, really been bothering me the last couple of days where, in my family, in my wife's family, there have been some people that have mental illness. Welcome to the show, everybody coming in. Hey, man, we got a lot of people coming in. I really appreciate it. Laura, welcome. Slightly Serious, welcome. But, the whole mental illness thing has really been bothering me because in this country, we don't have the sufficient services to truly help people. And when I walk around this area and I see all of these homeless people in my area, in this town, in this city, where I've been walking, I mean, people sleeping in alcoves. I thought about actually going tomorrow when I walk with some money. I don't usually bring my money with me, but bringing like some $10 bills and handing them out to some of these people who obviously have nothing. But a lot of them, when I walk by them, I try to make eye contact. I try to say hello, but a lot of them are talking to themselves. A lot of them obviously have, serious mental illness that's going untreated. And to me, this is something in this country that we don't talk enough about. We hear about all the things that our new president's doing, with the stimulus and all that type of thing. But you're right. They don't believe in it. That's the thing. You're right, Cummings. And, slightly, if you hang in here, I've got like a 5-minute clip that I put on my Roadcaster of Joe Biden's gaffes that I'm going to play in a little while. So it's pretty friggin' funny. So hang in there for that if you get time today. And, but anyway, so for me, I see these people that are out on the street that are not getting help. They're not getting help. I mean, this could be my son. My son has autism. He has OCD. He's got Tourette syndrome. If he wasn't on medication and he wasn't getting the help that we've given him, it could be him living out on the street right now. Thank God we've been able to help him. But there are so many people out there that are living. And again, where we live here in Massachusetts, it's cold. It's cold today. I think it's like 43 degrees out right now. I mean, in the winter, it's -0 almost every night. And these people are sleeping outside. They're being snowed on. And I guess my question is, and I'm not going to throw this just at the Democrats, but I mean, the Democrats are the ones that preach they care about the people that are struggling in this world. But I mean, the Republicans aren't doing anything either. We just passed a $1.9 trillion stimulus package, right? We're giving money to union pension funds. In the last stimulus, we gave $50 million to gender studies in Pakistan. I mean, we're giving away all the rights now we're giving to people at the border. They're going to be educated in Southern California before the U.S. students are. When the hell are we going to make it a priority to help our people that are struggling? I mean, we have this issue in this country of mental illness, mental health. No one is stepping up to talk about it. And again, I know that, every time there's a shooting in this country, people are afraid. I get that they're afraid. I'm afraid. For my job, I walk into schools all day long. 2 years ago, I got caught in a school during a lockdown. There was a guy around the corner that robbed a bank, and I was doing a presentation in the gymnasium to a bunch of people. And literally, I had to stop the presentation right in the middle of it. And I was with a bunch of teachers, and there were also kids in the gymnasium. We all had to go into a supply closet. We waited in the supply closet for a good 20 minutes. The lights in the school were off. It was silent. You could hear a pin drop. No one was making announcements. And the teachers in the room were saying to us, this is not a drill. This is real. This is happening. So at the time, I didn't know if there was a school shooter in the building. So it was me, a couple of female teachers, a male custodian, and probably about, 20 children in this closet. The children were crying. They were terrified. And, we were calming them down. I'm looking at the kids saying, listen, we're here with you. Don't worry. No one's coming into this room. We're good. So I get why people are afraid. So it turned out that it was a lockdown because of a robbery that happened down the street and they locked the school down. But I mean, to see these little crying faces in this closet, it was terrifying. And I felt awful for them, right? So people, when they hear about school shootings at, supermarkets, movie theaters, the first thing they're told by our government is it's the guns, right? It's the guns. You need to take away the guns. It's not the guns. And again, I know there are people in here that may be Democrat that don't agree with me, and that's okay. That's what makes this country great. But until we solve the problem with mental illness and homelessness, and Victor, I see your comment about vets. You're absolutely right. How can we let the people, the men, the women that have fought for our country, how can we let them live on the streets, living in cardboard boxes, living with blankets on top of them, being snowed on, starving, maybe being addicted to drugs? How do we allow that to happen in this great country? So going back to what I was just saying a second ago, okay, guns, when in the hands of the wrong people, can be a very dangerous weapon. But if you still have mental illness, it doesn't matter what they use. If you take all the guns away and there were no guns, they're going to use pressure cookers like the Boston Marathon. They're going to use airplanes like 9/11. They're going to use machetes. They're going to use crossbows. They're going to use knives. One of the most deadly attacks in the history of the world happened in Europe. And I can't remember what country it was in. I read it about it a couple of years ago, but it was a prolonged knife attack where literally like hundreds of people were killed by knives. So, our government is take away the guns, take away the guns, take away the guns. London, thank you. And I understand the sentiment behind that, right? And Jess Duck put it perfectly. You're right. If you take away all the guns from the law-abiding people, how is that going to protect all of us, and how is it going to protect society? The people that want to get the guns are going to get the guns. They're going to get them. They're going to get them, and they're going to commit crimes. And the people that are mentally ill, if they have access to guns, they're going to kill people. So for me, you can't just treat the guns. Hey, old man, how you doing? Good to see you. So you can't just say, take the guns away, because we have a systematic problem in this country where we have mental illness, where people cannot get treatment. They are living on the streets, or some of them are living in people's homes, and they still can't get help. For all of you that looked at, I'm sure you're all familiar with it, the Sandy Hook, Connecticut shooting. Now, for us, that was terrifying. We live probably 2 hours from Sandy Hook, and my wife has very good friends that she went to Boston University with, one of her very best friends in the world, that lived in the town of Newtown, Connecticut, and she had elementary school children at that time. We saw the news report come up, and my wife and I were both like, oh my God, her kids are in this school. Thankfully, we didn't realize there were 2 elementary schools in Newtown. Her kids were in the other school. So our friends' kids were safe, but we didn't know that all morning. But I mean, this young man that went into this school and killed all of those children, should he have had access to guns? Probably not. But he had serious mental illness where his mother had tried for years to get him help. They weren't a poor family. They had money. They had health care. They could not get him the help that he needed. He needed to be someplace where he could get 24/7 care, and they needed to figure him out. And it was never done. And this young man finally got access to a gun and killed multiple children. Now, can you blame the gun on that? You can say that maybe there shouldn't have been guns in that house. Okay, I will give that. But the bottom line is, who's to say that this young man wouldn't have driven a car into a school or driven a car into the playground when the kids were at recess and run them over? There are other ways for people who have an issue to kill. So I don't want to make this a big Second Amendment debate. You all know where I stand on that. I believe very much into the Constitution. And, you get Joe Biden coming out saying, don't worry, we're not going to take your hunting rifles away. But that's not what the Second Amendment is about. The Second Amendment is about having guns in society, having the ability to form militias to protect yourself against a tyrannical government, right? The Democrats say, well, we're not going to take away your hunting rifles. It's not about hunting rifles. It's about the ability to protect yourself. But my question to the Democrats is, you're letting all of these people in at the border right now. It's crazy what's going on. I mean, what's happening in this country right now? They are not letting the media cover this. They are not allowing cameras in to see what's happening at the border. They are preventing the American people for seeing the tragedy that's really happening right down right there. And of course, AOC comes out today and says that when the Republicans come out and say there's a crisis at the border, this surge is a crisis, she's now saying that's white supremacy. I'm sorry, but I got to give a laugh for that.
Okay.
How do you,
All right, there's Camila's laugh. So there's a little laugh from Kamala Harris. But again, I'm getting really tired of hearing the white supremacy argument, okay? I've been called now on TikTok 4 or 5 times a white supremacist. I have white privilege. I'm not a white supremacist. I love my African-American brothers and sisters. If you're out there listening to my show, if there's anyone in here, I love you. I've got no hate in my heart. I love each and every one of you. I want you all to have the same opportunities that I have in this country. Now, do I have privilege? No. My family's worked its ass off. And after 3 generations, we finally gotten to a point where we're doing okay. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we've gotten there. But everyone should have the opportunity. But I'm tired of being told by the left that I'm a white supremacist. I am not. I am not. I don't know anybody who's a white supremacist. I live in a predominantly white town, and I don't know anybody that is a white supremacist. The argument is getting old. So AOC comes out and talks about what's happening at the border is now, when we judge that, it's white supremacy. It's not white supremacy. It's cruelty. It's cruel what's happening to these children. These children are being abused. They're being left in these places under unsafe conditions where they could all be spreading COVID amongst each other. They could be attacked by sex traffickers, by human traffickers. What's being done at the border is awful. It literally, when I watch it, it makes me want to cry. It upsets me. It bothers me. It makes me feel bad. This is not the type of country that I want to live in, where we're treating people like that. And again, I would love to have a country where we could have everybody in the world in our country, but we can't do it. It's untenable. So for us, we need to have a country with borders, right? We need to have a country with borders, and you have to enforce it, or you're going to have, like we do now, tens of thousands of people coming into the country. Now, these children too, they are being shipped off to cities all around the country. Who knows what's going to happen to them? Who knows if they're going to end up in an Epstein ring at some point? They could be, because no one's out there. No one's protecting them. But my whole point is, when we have a problem in this country with homelessness like we do, and mental illness like we do, why are we letting more people into this country when we can't take care of the people that we have now? How about a stimulus plan? How about putting $2 trillion aside to build homes for the homeless? How about putting $2 trillion aside for real help with mental illness in this country, where you have somebody that is exhibiting signs of mental illness and they can receive help? They can get counseling. They can be put in a place where they can be counseled, where they can get medication, where they can be brought to being right. There was a story this morning in the Boston News Channel. Now, this isn't being reported. Hey, Chris. Hey, everybody coming in. This isn't being reported anywhere in the country, but there was a young woman who was stabbed and murdered in Boston by a young Asian man. And again, I only say young Asian man because the Democrats have made it such an issue about what race people are that are killing people. I don't care if he's Asian. I don't care if he's white. I don't care if he's black. It doesn't matter. He killed somebody. But the reason why he killed somebody, he had a severe mental illness. He had schizophrenia, and he was out on the street. And when he stabbed and killed this woman, this young woman, he did not kill the woman in his mind. He was killing the voices in his head that were so bad that he couldn't prevent it from happening. So this man couldn't get help. He was on the street. He had schizophrenia amongst other issues, and he stabbed a young, beautiful woman who had a great career in front of her and killed her and took her life. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When I hear about the left, especially, we care about the people. We care about the poor. Okay, it's easy to say it, but how about you show me? Show me. Show me that you care. Do something. Instead of sending all this money overseas to the Ukraine, to China, to Pakistan, what was it? 500 billion to union pension funds. And don't get me wrong now, there are people out here that have pensions. I'm not against pensions. My father has a pension. I wish I had a pension. I don't have one. But my dad's got a pension, and he was able to live well in retirement because of it. Now, I'm going to look down at some of the comments. I haven't been paying attention, so let me look down at the ones that are on my screen. Oh, yeah, Mr. T, the gender studies. So what was it, 500 million, or was it more than that? Was it billions for gender studies in Pakistan? Okay, that might be important. I'm not even here to brag on that. But how about the homeless people in our country? How about the people that I see on my walk every night that are literally living behind dumpsters with blankets and newspapers to keep them warm, dirty blankets, right? You're right. And Cummings' culture, it would not take $2 trillion. We could do it for $100 billion. $100 billion. Okay, it's a ton of money, obviously. But I mean, Jeff Bezos has that much money, Why can't we have something that's put together where we truly help these homeless people and the people with mental illnesses? If you help the people with mental illness, the gun violence will go down. The murders will go down. We will have a safer society, and you will be helping these people who can't help themselves. It's awful. I mean, we are better than this as a country. We are better than this, right? Okay, I see Slightly. Thanks for coming into my show, man. I haven't been into yours or any over the last week. I've just been smoked with work. So hopefully I can get into your shows again soon. They'll probably do it, John, but only, dude, there you go. I'm sure you've talked about this in your show. They would probably do it, but for only people of color. Now, you mentioned this, I'm sure, in direct correlation to what happened in Oakland, California, right? Oakland, California. I've been to Oakland, and Oakland's a rough city, okay? I went to a vegan restaurant in Oakland with a guy I worked with, believe it or not, and I actually had some really good vegan food. That was the first time I'd ever had vegan food. I'm not much of a vegan guy, but it was good. But I went to a vegan restaurant in Oakland. It's a rough city, and the government came out, and they're going to be giving, I think it's it's $500 a month for people that make less than $59,000 a year, or families that make less than $59,000 a year. Now, again, I know things have changed over time, but I don't think my parents ever made more than like $60,000 a year. So, $59,000 a year doesn't seem all that bad to me. But I know California is expensive, et cetera, whatever. And it's 2021 and not 1981. So it's different. But the big thing with that is now Oakland is going to be giving that money, that $500 a month, to people of color. If you're white and you have 4 children and your wife doesn't work, or say your wife does work and you make $44,000 a year in the city of Oakland, you get nothing. You get nothing. If you make $58,000 and you're a family of color, you get additional money from the government. How can this be? How can this be? I mean, they're constantly throwing in our face white privilege, white supremacy, and all this garbage. And I don't want anyone to think, as me saying this, that I'm a racist. I am not. I love people regardless of color. Color means nothing to me. As I've said before, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, it means nothing to me. People are people. Good people are good people. I don't care. It means nothing. But when I'm being called a white supremacist all day, and I'm being told I have white privilege, how is it okay to give money to poor people based on the color of their skin? Now, if you're going to give money to poor people and you want to give it to African-American people in Oakland, great. They need the money. I really don't have a problem with that. If people are struggling and they're working their asses off and they can't feed their family and they can't have an apartment to live in, help them. Help them. I'm cool with that. I'm down with it. I have no problem with it. I'm not an evil person that thinks, only certain people should have money and be able to feed their children. Everybody deserves that fundamental right. But when you come out and say that only black people are going to get the money, or only Hispanic people are going to get the money, and white people just don't get it, so are you saying now that white people just don't matter at all? For what? I mean, what did we do? What did we do? What did we do? I mean, again, I'm 53 years old. I'm probably one of the oldest guys in here, unless old man's still in here with me. I've never had a slave. I've never done anything wrong to African-American people. I've never done anything to Hispanic people. I've never had a problem with anyone. I played football in high school with a lot of Hispanic kids, football in college with a lot of African-American kids and Hispanic kids. I've never had a problem with anybody. I don't make racist comments. I don't believe I'm better than anybody else. Why all of a sudden am I this evil person? Why are the Democrats portraying me as being this evil old white guy that only wants, what's best for his race? Not true. But I do think that if you're going to give help to people under a certain amount of money, it should be for people of all colors. It shouldn't be for one color. It shouldn't be for one race, right? So yeah, it's you're right. But Robert, I see your comment up there. It's not right. It isn't right. It isn't right. And what I see too is I see a lot on TikTok in different places now. And I really like TikTok. For those of you that aren't on TikTok, check it out. Once I get all the half-naked teenage girls off of my feed, my daughter taught me how to do that because that was disgusting. I get mostly political stuff on there. DJ Leisha is in the house. Hey, DJ, you were in my show the other day and I was playing music. And then my show just shut off on me. I don't know what happened. But, oh, good. You're going to call in. Yeah, both of you guys call in. Sweet. If anybody else wants to join the panel, I never told anybody to call in, but feel free to call in. I'd love to have a discussion. So welcome, DJ. What's going on? How are you?
I just wanted to let you know that my sound is back.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah. So how are you doing today?
Not too bad.
That's good to hear. Yeah, we're just talking about, I have like a lot of random topics I talk about. And today I started talking about homelessness in the U.S. because I've been walking in the city near my house and I never really get a good look at what's going on. It's kind of a rough city. My son goes to work out. I drop him off. I've got like an hour and a half to kill. So I've been walking around a lot. And I've been seeing the homeless people, sleeping by dumpsters with, newspapers covering them and people begging for money. And a lot of the people seem to have mental illness. So one of the things I've been talking about in the show is just kind of talking about how sad it is that in a country like the United States of America, that we can't do more to help these people that are struggling. We do nothing, to help people with mental illness. Now, if I remember correctly, aren't you from the UK?
Yes, there's a lot of it going on here.
Now, does the government do anything to help the people that have mental illness and are homeless there, or is it the same as here?
Yes, they do things to help, yes.
Like what type of things do they do? Because, our country obviously needs some help, because we don't
and the churches are a big help because they outreach to the homeless.
Nice. Yeah, we need to do something more here, and listen, now that I have you in, I talked to you the other day, at least chatting back and forth while I was doing my music show. Now, I think you have a relatively new show here. Like, how long have you been on Podbean for?
I've been on Podbean for a few months, but I've relatively started my shows going since February. It's really, really took off with my DJ shows.
Nice. Well, could you tell people
I've been on here with my ministry for a couple of months longer, but it's really took off since February.
Talk about your ministry. What do you talk about in your ministry?
My ministry is called Tsunami Fire Prophetic Healing Ministry, or now it's called Tsunami Fire Ministries International because it's worldwide. There's many nations in my ministry. And it's like a fivefold church, but a fivefold ministry, raising up agents of change worldwide.
Nice.
And tsunami fire means like the washing of God's love over the people and the fresh fire of anointing falling upon the people. And we must act just like Jesus did in the times that he was here. So there needs to be more outreaching to the people. So I believe I've come on at the right time.
You absolutely have. And that's exactly what I was going to say next. Where we are, I can't speak for the world because I live here, but where we are in this country, we have really, I've talked about this a lot. I think as a society, at least here in the United States, we've really lost our moral compass in a lot of ways, where when you look at things, you probably saw, I think it was Nike or whoever it was, came out with Satan shoes the other day and they sold out in no time flat. You've got the you've got the Grammy Music Awards. I don't know if you saw that or if you watched that. I really don't watch it. My daughter was watching the beginning and then we shut it off like halfway through because we were bored. But halfway through the Grammys, you've got Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B getting up on stage with a stripper pole on stage, and they were all over each other singing the disgusting lyrics to that song, WAP or WAP, WAP. And I mean that she got like Woman of the Year, and she got Grammy Awards for singing a song with just disgusting lyrics. And not that I'm perfect. I'm not. I mean, I've had sex podcasts and things like that on here, but I mean, I think that society, for whatever reason, we've just gone wrong, where there's no decency at all anymore. So for you to come on and do a show like this, I mean, hopefully you can kind of maybe help turn the tides a little bit and get people, going in the right direction, because I think a lot of our society is just kind of going in the wrong direction, and it's scary. It's scary to me.
Yes, since I've been on here, I've transformed a couple of rooms which I've been in, like spreading the love.
Let's see. I see Old Man made a comment up there. If John sounded like DJ does, I wouldn't miss a show. I hear you.
I have a lot of trolls following me now because I do ministry work, and now I'm doing DJ work at night. They are following me, saying like, "Oh, I'm the priestess of hell" and stuff like that. They're entering the rooms and stuff like that with names such as that and derogatory comments. But I used to take it seriously at first, but now I pay it no mind.
Yeah,
well, because trolls are trolls.
They're everywhere. And Mr. T, I see a comment. So it wasn't Nike. It was a rapper, Little Nas X or whoever it was that came out with those sneakers, the Satan shoes or whatever they were. But you're right, DJ. I mean, I get a lot of trolls in my show. And I had a couple that were pretending to be Eric and the Old Man the other night when I was doing my music show. And, I mean,
I know Eric's got trolls. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just looking for attention. And, if you get
that they've not only impersonated me and the Old Man, that they've more than likely been impersonating Dina Joe, and they've been impersonating John and slightly. They've definitely impersonated Jeremy from Cummings' Culture and a few other people. And there was even one episode of like Cummings' Culture where a troll came in as one of Chris's former agape teachers, and that right there, Chris and Jeremy really lost their shit on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad when people come in and they feel like they have to troll. And I've been trying to take a new strategy. I just laugh it off and try not to make a big deal about it. But you figure people that come in and when they come in and troll, they're just sad people and they can't come in under their real name and they're cowards. And
what they fail to realize is they're committing the crime of stalking too.
Yeah, they are. So I guess we've all made it, though. We've got stalkers now. So I guess that means that we're doing well, right? On Podbean, if we've got people that are stalking us and trolling us.
I like what the Old Man oftentimes say about these people who have nothing better to do with their lives. They need to just get a hobby or something. Or they need to just go pound sand is what I would say.
Right. Well, me and the Old Man, that's part of why we're doing podcasts, right? We're trying to take up some of our free time. So that's why I do it. But so DJ, tell us some more. I mean, what would be some of the things you would talk about on your show or your ministry? I'd like to hear maybe some of the specific things that you would talk about.
I don't talk so much on my show about ministries on the Podbean. It's more like Praise Ablaze and One Love Station. So we're all like coming together as one nation in one love, because of the peace which we're supposed to have is not there. And the love of power is operating where the power of God's love should be operating, and then the world will be in peace.
No, you're right. I think that's one of the things we've talked about a lot on the show, at least here in the U.S., where the powers that be, the wealthy, the business owners, the politicians, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, they profit off of us being divided. So when you've got this group of politicians that are now in this country, and all white people are evil now, we're all white supremacists, we're all privileged white people, and it's funny because on TikTok, as I was saying earlier, I've seen a lot of African Americans, a lot of Black Americans who are standing up for white people, saying, you know what, this is garbage. This is garbage. They're coming out point blank and rallying for white people right now because we're under such assault. And for me, the only reason that any party would do this is just to divide us all. They're looking to divide us, to conquer us. We've talked about this before. And until we, as a country, as a world, once we can all look past all of these things that are being done to us and we can unite as one, then they're not going to be able to control us anymore. But when they're able to divide us and they have us fighting constantly, it's a battle we can't win until we unite. And
exactly.
You hear you're preaching that.
It's a spiritual battle too.
Yeah. Hey, Robert. How you doing, Robert?
Sorry.
I just want to say hi to Robert. How you doing, Robert?
Good.
Hey, when's your Mr. Clean music show going to be on again?
I don't know. Right now, I'm locked out of my other account.
Oh, how come?
Hey, Robert.
Oh, hi. I gotta call you sometime.
Well, I'm sorry you're locked out of your account, buddy. I'm sorry to hear that. Can Podbean get you back in, or?
No, I'm in Parmi jail.
Oh boy, what'd you do? Oh boy. Oh, wait, no, I'm gonna give you a laugh. Hold on.
How do you?
All right, there's a little Camilla Harris laugh for you. So go ahead. So why are you in jail? What happened?
Stupid church shows.
Oh, you went in. Were you giving him a hard time?
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh, Robert. You be a good boy now. All right, don't get in trouble.
Well, he's not able to do his show right now because I think his computer's down. If he can't get it fixed, he's looking into hopefully trying to get another computer, but try to raise the funds in the process.
So Eric, how you doing? Go ahead.
There was people even attacking Robert when I was in his show.
Oh, he's gotten it really bad. Him and his brother and Chris and other people.
Him and Adam, Music Man, they were attacking him and they were attacking Music Man just for, especially Robert, for playing Christian music and the music that he plays. They were just like making derogatory comments and calling him like a retard and things like that, you know. But some people, they've got nothing better to do with their lives, you know.
And I think a relevant question too.
They don't know people, so they shouldn't direct comments at a person because it can bring a person's confidence down.
Yeah. It's something, that's something that we're very strong about here on the Jon DiVito Show is we don't tolerate bullying. I have a son that has autism. My oldest son has autism, Tourette syndrome, OCD. He's been through a lot. My daughter's dealt with bullying. And for me, bullying is one of those things that just shows the character of a person, and the bullies that come after people are weak, cowardly people. And Robert's a good guy. He's on here doing his show. He has a lot of people that enjoy his show. He has a lot of followers. He does a nice job playing his music. When I'm able to come into the show,
brilliant.
He remembers what songs I like and he plays them, which I love. And Robert, don't listen to these people because they're unhappy people, and people that have to rip into other people to make themselves feel better are just unhappy.
Yeah, that's what I've told him. I've told him not to take no notice of them.
Yep.
Because they're just unhappy people, empty people that wants to be like him.
Yep. You're right, man.
I think a relevant question for these trolls is, what if this had been their mother or father, or if that was their brother or sister or son or daughter or some other family member or close friend, and they were being bullied and harassed relentlessly and being called dirty names. I mean, would they be laughing or would they be crying?
Yeah, I see Tom's comment down in the chat, and welcome, Tom. Welcome, Bahram, also. And you're right. Bullying is shitty. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
Tom. You're absolutely right. Bahram, I see take screenshots, block them, and report them. Now, this is something we've talked about quite a bit. And again, right now it's really easy. I mean, if you want to be a troll, you don't even need to put in like an accurate email address. You could just make up an email address. They don't verify it. You create a new screen name inside of like 3 minutes, and you come back in and you bully again. So you could block, and then they just redo it again under a different name. I mean, again, this is 2021. If I'm on my computer, if I'm on my phone, whatever device I'm using, we all have IP addresses. You could track IP addresses and block people if you really wanted to do something. So, Podbean, do they really care? I'm not sure, because they could do something if they wanted to.
And the thing about like the IP address tracking, the thing is Podbean can capture those IP addresses and they could turn them over to the police. And then the next thing you know, these trolls who are coming on here bullying and harassing people could be getting a knock at the door from the police.
Yeah,
saying we have a warrant for your arrest.
Hey, Pete Pickett, welcome to the show.
Yeah, but it's hard to trace, isn't it, if they're using phones?
Yeah, that's
well, and they should be able to penetrate VPN.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm even smart enough to do that. I've got my VPN and my different things, and in case I'm whatever. I've got my Tor browser for certain things and whatever. I mean, you can block your identity.
I've taken your advice, Eric Kirk, and I screenshot everything when the trolls come in.
Smart.
Yeah, but if you're doing it like through your web browser, you should be able to capture like a web address like for that account, and then when you send it into Podbean, that they should be shutting it down and recording the IP address that it's coming from.
Hey, Parmi, welcome to the show. Coming in, I appreciate it.
The old man's been doing the same too, because how they've been hijacking images of ours without our permission. But if they hijack like Jeremy from Cummings' Culture, he could file like a copyright infringement suit or a cease and desist order.
Mr. K, welcome back, man. Hey, listen, I want to, since we get so many people in the live right now, the chat's pretty full for me anyway. I mean, I'm no Bards FM, but
hey, Victor.
Hey, welcome to everybody coming in. I'd like to see some people make some comments for me, because the initial
Victor
thing I'm
comes in my show.
Oh, does he? Welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here.
He's in my show every night,
nice.
without fail.
What time's your show on?
Usually about 7, 8 o'clock. It was on 8 o'clock last night because I was running a bit late.
So that would be what for me?
UK time. It was 2
3 in the afternoon for me?
2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon here at
2 p.m., 3 p.m.
Okay. I'll have to look for it then and try to get in and check it out, because I don't think I've seen it, or I haven't been in. John, just let Parmi call you. Anybody who wants to call in, call in. You're all welcome to call in. Whoever wants to call in, come on in, join us. Yeah, she can call in and hang up too. That's fine with me.
We've had that happen before, but we might even catch and have Jeremy or Chris join us on the panel if they're not too busy.
Free forum today. Whoever wants to call in, call in. I'm just chilling today, and I don't know how much more I'm going to be on this week, just because I'm super busy with work, and hopefully I survive. As I was talking about earlier, before I started talking about the homelessness issue, some of you may have seen it. My daughter just got her permit. She's 16 years old to drive, and I've been riding with her. There is nothing. I don't think I've ever experienced anything scarier in my life.
Congratulations to her.
Thank you. She's doing very well, but
yes,
terrifying.
Congratulations.
It's terrifying for me to be in the passenger seat when she doesn't know how to drive and she's just learning. I have no brake in my car on the passenger side. So she's doing well, but it's very scary to be in the car with a new driver, but she's doing a good job. So, hey, Parmi, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Come on, it's fine.
It's good to see you as well, Robert.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you all. So, Parmi, what are you doing?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm doing nothing.
Nothing?
I just finished the project. Yeah, and I am, I actually have nothing to do. So, yeah, I'm hanging around. I'm project.
Now, that could be the motto for my show. When you've got nothing to do, check out the Jon DiVito Show, right? Come in here, hang out for a little bit, pass some time. Now, where are you located?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
I live in Iran.
Oh, that's right. You've been in the show before. That's right.
Iran.
That's cool.
We have plenty of friends in Iran, including Ahmad and and Dinesh.
Yeah. And that's
Dinesh is not from Iran.
Or he's not far from that region.
That is a perfect example, though. We were talking earlier, right, about division in this country, division in the world. I mean, by the way the governments act, you would think that people from Iraq, Iran, the United States, Syria would all hate each other. But whenever we have people in from Iran, Iraq, or if I'm in shows, I've been in, what's that one show where I can't remember the name of it, where they do it from Iran. I've been in that show a bunch of times. And, we're all just people. We're all just people. And unfortunately, our government just divides us all. And I don't know why we can't just all be one and be one happy world full of people. And I guess if we didn't have these divisive governments, we probably could be, because it seems like they're always the ones that want to divide and conquer us as people and not allow us to unite, And I'll tell you, whenever I've had anybody in my show from Iran, Iraq, India, anywhere in the Middle East, honestly, I think y'all are like the most polite people I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
So I'm going to change your mind.
Very, very smooth. Their language is beautiful.
You're going to change my mind. I love that.
Yeah, the language is beautiful, but, not polite. Like, come on. I am not, at least.
You're not polite? You seem like you're just being nice here in the beginning, and you're going to give it to me eventually.
Yeah.
Right? Now, how old are you?
I'm 21. I just turned to 21 2 days ago.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
So
happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. So you were Monday. My daughter was Sunday. My daughter's the 28th. So she just turned 16.
Wow.
So you're a youngin'.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So you're a youngin'. So now, are you dating anybody? Are you married? Are you single? What's your situation?
I just have a boyfriend, and I'm having this boyfriend for 6 years. He was my first boyfriend. Yeah.
So for him, it's maybe time to think about kind of getting serious, I imagine, right?
I'm not ready. Like, I still need more time. Like, maybe when I get 25 or 26.
Oh, see, now you would have been the dream girl for me, because I wanted to date for like maybe 20 years before I got married. But my wife wasn't having that. She gave me a deadline. So when we were dating, she literally did. She gave me a deadline and said, listen, either I get the ring by this day or it's over. So you know what I did? Of course,
Seriously?
I waited for that day. Well, she was nice about it. She wasn't mean. And
I don't know why women want to get married so soon. I don't understand that. And it's the same when I see my friends. They just want to get married. I'm like, come on, you shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Too soon.
That's for me. I was in no rush. I was fine with it. But we had dated for quite a while. So she was very nice about it and said, listen, I kind of need to know if this is going somewhere. If it is, I'd like to be engaged by this time. So I literally had a date in which I had to pop the question. And of course, I waited until that date. So I waited until that day just to be difficult. Ask her out, started asking to marry me. And I did. I was very happy that I did. And we've been married, for a long time now. We've got 4 kids and it's all good. But marriage isn't a bad thing. It's once you get used to the pain, kind of like going to the dentist. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But it's all good. Yeah, So for the people that are in here, I wanted to ask some of you. We were talking earlier about homelessness, mental illness. What are some of the things that our government could do? I mean, does anybody have any ideas? I'd like to see if anyone in here has any creative ideas as to what our government can do to actually solve this issue. Because it's an issue that it's a huge problem in the U.S., huge problem all over the world. We certainly in the U.S. throw money at everything else, but we don't throw money, at the homelessness and mental illness, issue. Now, in Iran, let me ask you this question since I've got you here. Now, are the Iranian people allowed to carry guns? Do you have guns like we do in the United States? Are you still there? So you don't carry guns?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I couldn't hear you for a second.
Yeah.
But do the Iranian citizens carry guns?
No, people in Iran can't. But before that, let me ask you a question. Why do you guys say Iran? Like Iran?
How are you supposed to say
it's Iran.
It's Iran. Iran.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say it correctly now.
I heard people saying Iran. I don't know why.
It must be just the way it's spelled. The R.
Yeah,
R-A-N.
it's pronounced Iran.
Iran or Iran?
Mm-hmm. Iran.
Yeah.
Iran. I'm going to say it properly now. Iran. I've got it. All right. Iran.
Thank you.
So in Iran,
Iranian people, they are beautiful people.
Well, I can see Parmenti's got a beautiful, it looks like right eye. I can see her eye. It looks like she has nice hair. So she looks like a beautiful person. It also seems like she has
I mean beautiful inside and out.
Inside and out. See, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Important also. But she said she was going to change my mind, though. She's still being polite. So I'm waiting to hear maybe some of those things that make her not so polite. So what are you going to bring to the table?
It's too soon. Let me get a little comfortable and you'll see.
All right, you come.
Show you.
I'm interested, but I'm also afraid. I'm interested and afraid. So you've been dating your boyfriend for 6 years. And do you guys live near each other? Do you live together?
No, we don't.
Okay.
And I'm not even ready for that. I'm scared of living alone. I enjoy living at my dad's house because my parents are divorced, and I am living so it's so comfortable, and I feel like I don't want to change that.
Hey, Mr. Ray, I see your comment. I agree completely with that one. No, honestly, you're very young. I mean, I'm an old man. I'm old, so I'm 53 years old. I have an 18-year-old son. So
I'm 51.
Okay, are you 51? Oh, so we're about the same age. Now, I didn't get married until I was 33 years old. We had our first child when I was 35 and my fourth when I was 41. So, I still have at my age, 53, I've got an 11-year-old son that's going to be 12. I have absolutely no regrets waiting. And it was funny. My grandmother told me when I was very young, being a guy, don't rush. Live your life, travel, do the things that you want to do, get it all out of your system, which I did. So I met my wife when I was 30. I had just turned 30, like a month after I turned 30, and she was 23, so she's younger than I am. But we ended up, dating for, I'm trying to think how long, like maybe 4 years, I'm thinking. And she ended up, we ended up dating for 4 years. We were engaged for a year, and then we got married. So, for me, I was in no rush, and I have no regrets, and being now, I guess one of my regrets is I'm old now, and I still have 4 kids that are living in my house. 3 of them are teenagers, and I'm driving them all over the place and coaching baseball and football. But I guess it keeps me young also. So I saw Mr. K called in. I don't know if that was an accident, but he popped off. So if you want to call back in, come on back in. But so you're 21 years old. Now, when you get older, do you want to have kids? Do you want to have a family?
I'm not sure when I am, only when I am capable of that, mentally and, if I have enough money.
You're wise. You're a wise person. Now, you said you were doing a project. Is that for school or are you working?
It's our, some days ago was our New Year, actually a week ago. Yeah, right.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. It was our New Year, and I took a project. It's about, they make a painting big eggs, like they gave me an egg which was 2 meters. So I painted it with different colors, colorful. I made it colorful and different kind of different beautiful things.
Yeah.
And this was the project. And they sometimes paint on the walls. These are the projects that they give to artists. And I'm studying painting.
Wow.
And that's it. This is the project I took, and it took 10 days.
By the
way, while doing this project, I was having COVID-19.
Oh, boy. So you had COVID-19. Wow.
Yeah.
How was it? Was it bad for you, or was it not too bad?
It was bad.
Really?
It was, yeah. Yeah. I had a freaking bad fever.
Oh, boy.
And I shivered a lot. And it was completely, I don't want to think of that anymore.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you one more question about that, then we'll move on. I don't want you to talk about it too much, but was it any worse than the common flu that people get every year for you? Was it worse?
To me, that wasn't worse because, I have asthma and I suffer from asthma, but, it didn't have any effects on my lungs, so that it wasn't so hard to me. But if it would, I would, I could have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary. I mean, I fortunately have not had it. And the only person in my family that got it was my 18-year-old son. He got it and he had no symptoms whatsoever. But my 2 youngest boys both play baseball. In the place they go to, their gym, their hitting coach got COVID. And he is, I don't know, probably about 40 years old, pretty healthy guy. And he ended up in the hospital and he was very, very sick. But, my wife is a doctor. And she was telling me that it seems that people with a type A blood type are getting COVID much worse than people with other blood types for whatever reason. So it seems like people with type A are more susceptible to getting a serious
I'm A positive.
You're A positive? Wow.
Yeah, blood type.
I'm O positive.
I'm O positive as well. Now, have you had...
I don't know my blood type, but I would imagine I don't have the blood type that's being hit the hardest.
I didn't know my blood type until my wife told me. I had to ask her. But DJ Leisha, so what have you had COVID, DJ Leisha, or no?
No, I haven't had COVID. I've had because I've had cancer in the past, I've been declared highly vulnerable, and I haven't been basically out of my house for a year properly.
Wow. So you've been in your house for a year. Wow.
Only to go out for food, medical supplies, and one form of exercise a day. But there's been that many people over here in the UK, over 126,700 and something plus deaths. and the people are going out now as of today where I'm seeing them. They're going out, they're not socially distancing, they're not wearing masks because there's this vaccination out now. They think by having one vaccination, they think, oh, well, I can't catch COVID now, but they're spreading it more and more.
Let me address that right now because my wife came home last night. She's a doctor. Everybody in her office was vaccinated. One of the nurses was vaccinated completely, and she now has COVID. So she was vaccinated a couple of months ago, and she has what they believe is to be the Brazilian strain of COVID, which the vaccine apparently did not protect her from. Now,
that's a new strain.
It's a new strain. But, here in the U.S., though, I mean, I haven't gotten it, and I've been living my life. I mean, I've gone to baseball games. We went on vacation. I've gone to the beach. I go to restaurants. I've been to movies. So over the last year, I have still been kind of living my life somewhat regularly. And so far, I've been fortunate where I haven't gotten it. I mean, maybe I've been living, very dangerously, and I shouldn't be living this way. But I also feel that in this country anyway, I mean, I look at a lot of the children that have been stuck at home for a year. And, this kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier in the show, where a lot of the children now are suffering from mental illness because they've been trapped away from their friends. Did you think now for you, DJ Leisha, for you being in your place of residence for a year without really leaving much, has it been affecting your mental health at all?
Yes.
It must be. It has to be, right? How so? How so?
Because I'm speaking for people on a wider scale here as well, because where I live, we live on a coastal, we live in a seaside town, and we have a long coastal route where there's loads of cliffs, and every single day there's incidents happening where people are killing themselves through, I believe, being trapped in the houses.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing with the children right now. It seems like a lot of children, especially because, I look at my two youngest, especially. They are 14 and almost 12. They're both in middle school here. So the two of them are both very, very social. My older two aren't quite as social. My daughter's very quiet. She doesn't mind kind of being by herself. My oldest son, same kind of way. But my younger two really miss being with their friends and miss having that socialization with other kids. But now, next week, they're finally going back to school full time. So my son has been telling me the last couple of days, my 14-year-old, that he's anxious about being back in school now with all the people because he hasn't been around the people for like the last year. And I think that's what happens. I think sometimes when you're locked up by yourself, you get like a level of comfort as to being in your house. And then when you go out, you feel very uncomfortable being around other people. I know sometimes I feel that way. So I'm not sure if it's for everybody, but so I don't know. So let's see. I see DJ's making some good comments in the chat here. I'm not following the chat that closely, but so many churches are getting offerings from the congregation and also getting salary to operate. So they need to help people with some of the money. So, I mean, it's really good that the churches are doing what they can to help right now. I see Freedom Warrior. Isolation is the biggest killer. Mr. K, you've got O positive blood. Let's see.
I agree with Freedom.
Yeah,
on that.
It really is, and that's why we've been trying to manage it with our family. Oh, looks like is it Mr. K calling in? Cool. See if I can do it before I lose you. There we go. All right. Oh, we got Parm calling back in. We lost her for a second, so we'll get her back in. And she still hasn't been rude.
Mr. Colley's here.
So I'm hoping I'm going to hear some of that rude part of her personality. I haven't heard it yet. So, Mr. Coley, what's up with you, man? How's it going?
First of all, hi to all of you. And this is the first time I'm calling in this show. So,
I'm glad to have you because I know I've seen you quite a bit. And I think if I remember correctly, you follow me on Instagram and I follow you. So I see you coming
and
into
Twitter.
And Twitter too. So I'm glad to have you in my show. So, what would you like to talk about? Feel free to kind of give us what you're thinking.
Yeah. John, I'm following you since December. I downloaded the podcast that you uploaded on your Podbean. So let me tell you one thing that you upload your podcast you're making that really helped me to speak in English. And I missed a show that show was specially dedicated to Arabic. But I downloaded that show after, but I was busy somewhere. So
Yeah.
it was especially for Eric. So Eric, sorry I missed that show. So now I got an opportunity. Uh, let the people know about the Eric. Initially, when I started podcast in I think August 2020, I was I was about to start to speak in English. So I'm from India.
Yeah.
So Eric helped me a lot to search about the podcast, about the shows, about the host, and he helped me to know the what kind of podcast is available. And Eric is such a great man on Podbean app. Seriously, I'm knowing him like about 6 months ago, but he is a very helpful person for everyone. And I really missed that chance, Eric. You had a show that he did, I think Jon DeVito, especially
Yeah.
for you. But I downloaded after I listened all the show offline. Yeah. So that's all I want to say.
Well,
And
let
Jon
me let me ask
DeVito,
you a question though, Mr. K.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
since it's kind of scary that I helped you to teach English because I've got that Boston accent. So you might be the only guy in India that's saying things like, park your car in the garage, some of those Boston iconic phrases. So I don't know if you have a Boston accent from me, but I'm glad to hear that maybe I was able to help you a little bit. But
well, I know the old man and Dina Joe and Slightly and Cummings
Yeah.
and Lingalonga. Those are other good
Yeah.
podcasters who can help you in learning to speak better English as well, and
Well,
learning about their cultures.
I was saying this the other day. A lot of the American companies now use call centers, customer service from India. And, I'll call a company sometimes, and sometimes I'm in a bad mood and I'm looking to be a Karen. I'm looking to be mean. I want to get something for free. But honestly, when you call people in India, you can't do it because they are the kindest, nicest, most polite people with customer service. When you deal with customer service people in the United States, if you give them attitude, they usually give it right back to you. When you deal with people in India, you don't get any attitude back. They just kill you with kindness, and they're super nice. So whenever I try to be a Karen to people, through customer service and they're in India, I can't do it because they're nice. And I end up saying, well, thank you very much. You were very helpful. And, because they're such nice people.
They are.
Isn't that true? They're so trained so well, and they're just nice people.
And have you noticed the fact that even in the movies, usually the Indian people aren't the robbers. Have you ever seen that? Usually they are the engineers, computer engineers.
Oh, they are. They're brilliant. Well, my wife's one of my
Yeah.
wife's very best friends is a doctor. She and her husband are both from India, and we actually went to their wedding here in the U.S. And my wife was in the wedding, and oh my God, what a wedding! It was huge. There were a lot of people that came over from India, and I don't even know how many people were at this wedding, but it must have been. I mean, this is a rough guess. It must have been like 600 people at this wedding. It was the biggest wedding I've ever been to.
God.
It was huge and it was amazing. It was so much fun.
600 people.
Oh, I remember we were out in the parking lot outside of the hotel, and everybody was out there dancing. It was a great, great, great wedding. Probably the most fun wedding I've ever been to, and it was really neat to see, a wedding from a different culture because here in the U.S. I don't get to see that very often, and very, very cool. So yeah, her friend Ronnie is from India. Her husband Samir as well. And both good people. They're both good people. They're both very successful. Smart people, but also nice people as well, which is good. It is good. So, hey everybody. So what else is going on up here? So we've got Robert. You've been up there very quietly for a while. Do you have anything else you want to say, buddy? Or are you just kind of sitting back and chilling? Robert, are you still there? Did you doze off?
I've got something to say to Robert.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, because of all of the bullying and things going on that he's experienced, his confidence is knocked, and especially his brother Adam. And people need to know and be aware of what they say, because words can make or break a person.
Yes.
So I would like to say to Robert that he's good at what he's doing, to continue what he's doing and pay no attention to the comments and build up his confidence, because he is good at what he's doing,
Yes.
the DJing and what he's doing.
Robert, you are
And
good.
I think
a lot of us count on you.
Yeah, and I think that the trolls which are trolling him are calling him all these derogatory names, and it's hitting him more because it hits people in different ways because of what they're going through, circumstances in which they're going through. But I want to encourage Robert to carry on because he is good at what he does, and he is going to get better.
Absolutely.
Well, you're right about that, Leisha, that Robert does have like a great support system of friends. I know you and Lady
Yes.
Me and Laura and Pink Squirrel, along with Jon DiVito and Slightly Serious and Cummings and the old man and Dina Joe and Chris, you know, that they know that we've got his and Adam's backs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Robert, we are your friends. We care about you. And I know it's hard to see some of those nasty things that people say, but just remember, we all love you. We all care about you. We love being in your show. You do
What
a great
happened
job.
to him?
Don't let those negative people get to you. Just turn the other cheek. I know it's hard sometimes, but you know, sometimes in life there are just bad people. And unfortunately, I feel bad for those people that are struggling with themselves. And I actually pray for all of them that they can find help in their life so they can feel better about themselves, so they don't have to pick on people to make other people feel bad. There's no need for that. There's no need for it.
They're trying to make the people they're targeting feel as bad as what they are feeling.
Yep. So true. Hey,
Either they can't deal with their own problems or they just don't want to.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, some people think they're being cute. Some people think they're being funny. And I guess if they
some people just do it for fun.
It fills some
they don't
void, I guess,
realize.
in the personality.
But then you have to remember
I
that
have no idea what you guys talking about.
Trolls.
Trolls?
You know, the mean kind, of course, that, you know, that basically, you know, are all about putting people down when we should really be lifting people up.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, come on, go fuck yourself. And especially, exactly
Yeah,
when
but if you engage,
I'm trying
if you
my
engage
best.
with them, if you engage with them in positive way or a negative way, that's giving them attention, whether it's negative or positive. That's all they want is an attention. They don't care whether it's negative.
I just say go fuck yourself, and I won't just do anything else, so that they can do anything they want, and I enjoy seeing them trying their best to make me angry, and I don't care. I seriously enjoy that. And that happened in my you know, I study art, and usually when my art pieces are better than others, because, you know, this is the only thing I care about in my life, and I feel like I was born to enjoy my life. So when I paint, I enjoy that, and that's what I think that makes a little difference between me and my classmates. So that sometimes they get jealous because the professors behave me better than them, and that's why they make some silly behaviors, and I'm like, come on, seriously, are you being a child? Like, enjoy what you're doing and you're gonna be even better than me, and stop making me look silly.
I see a comment from Ram U podcast. Please don't think I'm defending these trolls. Hey, in here it's a free country. You can speak your mind and it's all good. No one gets banned from my show unless they're an absolute asshole. But I see the counter argument where we all end up seeing people banned from the internet or criminalized for speech that I don't agree with. You're right. I mean, you are right that we do have freedom of speech, you know, in this country. And I do get that. I do get your point there. But I think what we're talking about is, I mean, there's a guy like Robert in here who's a great guy, and people, you know, come in and they call him a retard and call him terrible names and things like that. I'm just talking about, if you want to come in and have your opinion on certain things, I'm good with that. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm more of a Trump guy. I'm more of a Republican. I don't like, you know, Biden. And if you want to come in and tell me you love Joe Biden, I may disagree with you, but you're welcome in my show. You can come and call in and disagree with me until your head explodes. I don't care. You know, I don't mind differing opinions. But when you're coming in and you're hating on someone, that's someplace where I tend to, you know, kind of cut it at that point. But
and,
now,
and the way I look at it with the trolls that come in, you know, wanting to label people and call people nasty names, you know, they're just also doubling down and tripling down on stupid.
Yep. And I'm kind of happy. I got to hear a little bit of that edge that Parmi was talking about. So I'm kind of digging that I was able to hear that. So I'm kind of excited. But hey, listen, guys, we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. Eric, why don't you run down what shows that come out? And then for those of you that want to hear it, it's pretty funny. I've got a 4-minute clip that I'm going to play instead of music at the end of my show. And it's going to be a little mishmash of Joe Biden, some of his famous moments so far as his presidency. It's pretty damn funny. So if you want to hear it, just stick in for after Eric. And I may be on tomorrow or Friday. Tomorrow, my daughter, she had a driving lesson pop up, so I had to cancel my show tomorrow. But I may do it Friday at 11:30.
Right.
Either tomorrow or Friday, I'll be on. And I'll probably end up doing a show. I've been doing some Sunday morning shows that I've actually really enjoyed, so I might pop up in one of those time frames also. But Eric, why don't you run down the shows, and I'll play that little Biden clip at the end and enjoy it. It's pretty funny.
Well, to our podcast friends here on Podbean, like on the daytime schedule today, I know you're going to probably see Milk Dog come on multiple times today like he normally does. And sometime on daytime or primetime or late night, you might even see like names like Lady Me, Laura, and Pink Squirrel, and Robert's brother, the Music Man Adam, pop up with an impromptu show. But at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, you've got Frankie D's Crib. And at 7 p.m. Eastern time, you've got Cummings' Culture. At 8 p.m. Eastern, hopefully, Chuck and Billy are doing their Not Your Cup of Tea. And then at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, you've got the Slightly Serious Show. And of course, he's on location all this week. But and in case you're interested, we certainly invite you to check out haps.tv, and you'll find the Slightly Serious Show there. And in case you missed it, yesterday was the last day of Twitter's Periscope streaming platform. But you can still find the Slightly Serious Show and other good podcast friends on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and DLive and other streaming platforms and Rumble. 11 p.m. Eastern time this evening, you've got Trice Talk with Donald Wayne and Dennis Lee, which I know me and Jess will definitely be there for that. And then you've also got Dennis Lee doing his Tall Tales of the Rabbit Hole opposite Slightly, and I think about 11:30 p.m. Eastern time or midnight, Chris will be firing up his Forgotten Tunes music show, and then tomorrow morning, the Ralph Williams podcast at 6 a.m. Eastern.
That's right. Ralph's back tomorrow, right? He's back.
Yep, and hopefully it's no April Fool's joke. If you, John, and you, Leisha, and other friends are able to jump in to see him, because I think this is his first time back from hiatus. And then 10 a.m. Eastern time is the Thursday edition of Chit Chat with the Old Man, and then come the weekend, be on the lookout. And I think tomorrow night, Glenn and Brian are doing their power comedy hour, and then Friday and Saturday, Chris Unplugged with 2 Ps and a podcast. Then the Old Man's Friday Night Music Show, and the Turfy Show, and the It's Doomsday podcast with Jester and Company, Lyrical Laxatives, and so many others. And in case you missed it, Sunday was the season finale of the Old Man's Sunday morning Hindi Pop Hits Music Hour and the Sunday afternoon Classical Music Hour. But not to worry, those two shows will return in September.
Nice.
And a host of other great podcast friends. And hopefully Robert will be where he can get like technical issues corrected to where the Mr. Clean Music Show is back on the air as well.
Yeah. So hey,
and also I do a show. It's either 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, so it'll be 3 o'clock.
2 or 3 p.m. Eastern
time. My DJ shows, and it's usually a mashup, so DJs can phone in and mash up with me.
Cool.
Oh, definitely check out DJ Leisha Lashes if you haven't already.
Yeah, I'm going to be sitting here working once I get off this, so I'll try to tune into that this afternoon and just listen while I'm doing some work. So I appreciate you bringing that in. Thank you to everybody that called in today. It was a really fun show. I really enjoyed it. And for those of you that are interested in the Biden clip, stay here. I'm going to play it now. It goes for about 4 minutes. It's pretty damn funny. So hang in there.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Love you and God bless you, everybody. Look forward to us doing this
again. And I just want to say to Eric Kirk that my sound is back. So
you sound great, Leisha.
Yeah, I'm out of the Matrix now. I'm driving, but I'm out of the Matrix.
All right, guys, here it goes. Enjoy now. We'll talk to you later.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
One love.
All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
I'm among many qualified people. I'm the best qualified person for this job.
I'm beginning to see why your wife left you.
Why you text Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
81 million votes, right?
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. I just spoke at Dartmouth on healthcare at the medical school, or not. I guess I wasn't actually on the campus, but the people from the medical school were at the. I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts. I'm not sure whether it was a medical school or where the hell I spoke, but it was on the campus. I propose, and I'm going to digress slightly. We're in a situation. The president asked me to head up a cancer moonshot in another country and annex a significant portion of it called Crimea. He's saying that it was my boss, it was his fault. Guatemala, El Salvador, and to go in and say in Honduras and say, look, I took on Putin in terms of Iraq. In terms of what was going on in Ukraine. By strengthening, by investing $100 billion in education, in global warming efforts. It's a whole range of things. We can't afford it by just beginning to reward work as much as wealth.
Get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
If you want to protect yourself, get a double barrel shotgun. Have the shells, a 12-gauge shotgun.
Don't jump. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
To say that LGBTQ people have no civil rights. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger. We have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. It will be a big...
Keep punching at it.
And immediately change the law in the state of Delaware protecting transgender people. We have to eliminate the funding gap that exists between minority white and majority white and non-white districts. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.